Calvert, right, Chatsworth,
yeah.
So now I've got a sort of.
Welcome to another edition of Craig Goes Cycling, and this one is going to be a little bit different for me. Normally these videos focus on myself and my racing, but today I'm meeting up with Josh Giddings of Lotto-Intermarché. I'll be doing a little interview with him back at his place later on. But he did mention to me, he says, oh, I'm doing a track at Derby Velodrome beforehand, so I thought, well, come along, get a little bit of footage and see what he looks like on the track bike. So I've never seen him on a track bike. I've seen him racing on the hill climbs, and then obviously we've seen him on television on TNT Sports in various tours. This in 2025, his first year as a professional. So I'm here at Derby Velodrome. Now I've been told this is more of a training session than a race session. There is a coach here who decides what they're all going to do, and they can make it as hard or as easy as they want. People have asked me, Craig, are you going to be ever thought about doing track? And I have thought about it, but the thing for me is I don't like the idea of crashing and getting splinters in my arse. I don't mind the thought of gravel, that's not too bad, but splinters, nah, not sure about that. So I think they're almost ready to get on track, so we'll get some footage and we'll see what a track session's like at Derby Velodrome.
To be fair, it's a decent one with a mixed group of abilities. So faster riders, chaps, you're on the blue. Steadier riders on the black. Laps, Adam, laps. I'm not had asked fixed, but it says about 120. 64, going for a 10 miler.
We've just watched you on the track here at Derby Velodrome. You're a pro cyclist,
Yep.
You ride for Lotto, but you still come here to your local Saturday morning track session, 7 o'clock.
Of course.
What's it, about -4 degrees outside? What is it that gets you to come back and do this? Because this is something you do quite regular, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm starting to do it more regularly now.
Yeah.
I did have a bit of a break from the track, but this is like sort of where I learned how to race. Like, I was sort of a track rider when I was younger, so I was always here, probably 2 or 3 times a week, track league, training sessions, and some other sessions as well. I've raced here so many times, been up to Manchester at that velodrome as well, so I sort of grew up racing on the track, and it's something that I sort of neglected the last year or two.
Right.
I think it's really beneficial to anybody racing on the road, really.
Yeah, well, you're just saying that. I've just had quite a long chat with your dad, and he was saying about the skills that you learn in track, but you then take out into the road. And he was saying, you know, he's watched you in a sprint finish on the road, and you're looking behind you, looking for your sprinter.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, a lot of people, if you look behind yourselves and that, you start to drift a bit, but you've got that sort of, it's just a knowledge of, you can look behind and know, and still know where you're riding.
And it comes, you learn that from the track.
Yeah.
Because on the track, it's, if you're in a slipstream and the person in front of you has gone too early, 9 times out of 10 you can pass them. Whereas on the road, it's a bit different. You've got headwind, you've got so many different factors. So really on the track, you learn how to be smart when you're racing. You learn like decision making, when to go, like just, you sort of build that tactical mind. I think that's what I've taken into the pro cycling scene. With me, like, that's sort of my strength at the moment, is one, positioning, which it's critical on the track, also critical on the road, but I've sort of brought that skill over, and also decision making, when's the right time to go, sort of feeling the race, and that's all come from here and riding around, and you know, the fact that you're still doing this now, you're here with some, like, there's a lot of Ilson Velo speed riders, there's a lot of vets, and there's also, you know, young kids as well here. So I mean, actually think about it, so some of the young kids here who are like, what, 12, 13 years old, it's probably quite good for them to be on a track to you know, to see someone like yourself who's come from here, and they now see you in your Lotto kit, and now it's like, you know, you're now a pro rider, so that gives them something to look to. Yeah, I was in their position 10 years ago, and people like Adam Kenway, Will Perrott were always at the track, so those were sort of the pros for us. And yes, sometimes I get beat by the young kids, but that was me when I was younger. I was always wanting to beat the sort of stronger riders that turn up. And
well, the thing is, you've got a target on your back, haven't you? They're going to, it's a scalp to take, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's what you do when you're a younger rider. You see someone, oh, look who that is on. Right, I'm going to do them today. I'm going to beat them.
You feel good when you roll them in a sprint or something like that. So.
That's good,
I
right?
understand them coming. So.
That's good. Right, okay, so we'll sort of leave it here and we'll head off back to your house in a bit and we'll have a sit down and a bit of a chat about your first year as a full-time pro and then what's going to happen in year 2. All right, we'll catch you at yours in a bit. Cheers, Josh.
Cheers.
If I know one thing about cyclists, it's coffee and croissants. So, Josh, here, you've got a coffee machine.
Yep.
Right, let's go and get the coffee on. I have stopped by the local co-op and I've brought a selection of baked goodies. Oh, and Josh's dad is already in he's making the tea. Right, okay. So you were an accomplished cyclist yourself, I believe, though.
Yeah, I'm a lifelong cyclist. Yeah.
Lifelong cyclist.
Since the age of 13.
Yeah. And that's it. Now you've packed in racing, and you're letting Josh take over.
Of course I am. Yeah.
Look at that. We've got Josh now in the corner, proper barista. Look. Now I've got a coffee machine, but it's not anywhere near as fancy as this. So are you a bit of a coffee aficionado then?
I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a recent purchase.
Okay.
I had a Sage machine before, and then this. I like the look of them. It's probably liking the look more than actually needing one.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah, I've just got a standard. I've got a Sage one. My coffee's going to be really easy. Black Americano. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you a bit of are you starting latte art? Is that where you're?
That's what I'm trying to learn to do. I feel like I've got all the fundamentals down, like making sure the grind on the coffee's right and pulling shots I'm quite good at that, I think, but the latte art I'm horrendous at.
Okay.
I'm learning, I'm getting there now. I think I've made a few changes.
Yeah. He's talking about grinds and stuff that I don't. I just put some in that hopper, squash it down and then press on and that's it. So let's see how Josh makes a coffee.
Yeah. You want Americano?
Oh, just a black Americano for me, please. And then we have the bag of little goodies here. So would you say coffee is an integral part of being a cyclist, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I really like the taste of coffee anyway.
Yeah.
And obviously being a cyclist, I guess you're always around coffee.
You gravitate, yeah. See, the thing is, before I started cycling again, I wasn't really a coffee person at all. And then I started cycling, and you stop off the coffee shop, and I was getting bored of having tea and all my mates having these fancy coffees. I thought I'll try black Americano, and I actually realised I loved it.
Yeah. See, I'm since I've had this, I drink more milk drinks at the moment.
Okay.
But I do like a black Americano, just simple.
Standard, easy, safe.
Yeah. I'm trying to be like, the local coffee shops around here, but
is this something for when, your cycling career, when that finishes, when you've had a long, illustrious career at cycling, you decide not to go into being a director sportif. It's the Josh Giddings coffee shop.
Yeah, I think opening a coffee shop when I retire is the thing I'd like to. Hopefully, I've sort of invested enough that I can sort of have a few years to figure out what I want to do, and then opening a coffee shop will be like a cycling-based one.
Yeah.
Half bike shop, maybe half barista coffee like this.
It certainly looks like he knows what he's doing anyway. So what we'll do, we'll finish this little bit part now and we'll come back to it when the coffees are on the table. What we're doing, we're having a little look now in Josh's selection of, looking through some of his old kits here. So we've got let's have a look at these, the European Championship one.
So it's nice to have 3 of them. Oh yeah, you can see them there. 2 from Team Pursuit, so one from the junior category, one from the under 23 category, and then also a Madison jersey as a junior. Also, I've got 5 national jerseys. 5 national jerseys. 1.
So what were the national jerseys for?
3, 4. I think there's 5. 2 Omniums, 2 Madisons. Oh no, it would be 4 then.
Yeah.
2 Omniums and 2 Madisons.
Yeah.
Under 14 Omnium, under 16 Madison, under 16 Omnium, and also under 14 Madison.
Yeah. Okay. Right, and then so we got some trophies here as well. So let's have a look. What have we?
Select few like this track league, the under 16s. That's UFA 2018. West Flanders Cycling Tour. That's like under 16 race as well. It's like my first sort of stage race in Belgium. It's quite a well-known one. There's 2 here from European Junior Cycling Tour of Assen. That's like a big race. It's sort of like our summer holiday, but my first taste of like international racing. I did it from when I was maybe 12 till 14, 15. So I did it for a few years in a row, like different jerseys. I won it overall. I was 3rd overall one time. So that's the points classification. This was just a commerce in Belgium when I was under 16. Got this one as well. That's 6 days Manchester. I think it was a 3-day for us.
Well, you got a nice selection of jerseys and trophies here, haven't you? So have you still got your original Heanor Clarion jersey? Is that still around? Sue Gibson.
There's a skin. I've got a skin suit.
Oh, skin suit. So this is the.
Probably got the first jersey I had in there. I'll have to find
But this is the. So that's the Heanor Clarion. This is your first ever.
Yeah,
that's your first club. And how old were you when you joined them? Young.
7.
7.
6.
Okay. Yeah.
7 maybe.
Yeah, because we didn't have it. There wasn't a Ilkeston Cycle Club in those days, was there?
No.
Wasn't one for you to join. So.
Yeah, but like you can see, this bag is full of kit.
So you've kept a lot of kit then?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's my dad's as well.
Okay.
You know, it's probably half and half.
Well, that's nice having a little look through that, especially these where we can see the national champion jerseys and the European ones as well. That's great. Coffee tastes pretty good. So cheers, Josh. Well done. Now I was going to have a look at your latte. You've drank a bit.
I think I've got the milk to the right texture.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things, but I just can't pour it. That's my next step of it.
Okay.
Before the milk was not the right texture, so I'm hoping that.
I suppose it's like with anything, you have to do it. It's repetition, isn't it, to do it. But the first time you do something, you're not going to be good. Unless you won your first bike race, you're not going to tell me you did that. No.
Probably.
So, what we'd like to do, like this chat here today, we're going to have a little delve into last season, how your first year as a pro went, but a little bit of a background on yourself as a cyclist, because you're 22 now, are you? Yeah. So, talking to your dad at the track, I'm getting the impression that it was your dad who sort of introduced you to cycling, and then was that an instant love from yourself with the cycling, or was it like something you had to you did it because your dad did it and then you grew to love it?
It was an instant love because I did, like everybody does at school, you do a bit of football, a bit of other sports in your PE lessons, but I always wanted to go out on the Nutbrook Trail and just ride with my dad. And actually, we just used to go to where now the Nutbrook Cafe is, turn around, come back, and I just used to want to sprint and beat him all the time. Yeah. And if I didn't win, I'd cry.
Right.
So it was like the competitiveness, but also I just loved riding my bike, and it was only a little bike with stabilisers.
Right. So. Okay, so you weren't like 12 or 13 then if it was on stabilisers.
No,
this was quite young to start out with.
As soon as I could ride a bike, I was riding one. I probably did my first race, which would have been a Notts and Derby cyclocross, probably about age of 4 or 5.
Oh, so you were young then when you started?
Yeah, really young. And at the time, my dad was I think he was a senior doing the senior race later on, and he pushed me around. And there's actually a picture of him pushing me around. Probably one of my first races. Yeah. So that's
And that was age 4 then.
Yeah.
So
I want to say 4 or 5. Yeah. It was really young, probably 5.
Yeah. And the thing is as well with a bike, it's as a kid, it is. I think Mark Cavendish just said it's your first sense of freedom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of being able to get out on a bike and just go somewhere of your own accord. So you found that sort of love for riding and for cycling. So already you're like wanting to beat my dad when you were a little kid. When did you first beat your dad? Or when did he stop letting you win?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think
would let me win because I'd cry.
Yeah.
When I first actually was, shall I say, a bit stronger than my dad, probably when I was 12, 13.
Oh, really? Okay.
14, yeah.
So you...
But my dad was still quite strong then.
Yeah.
So,
14-ish. Yeah, 14-ish.
Yeah.
And by the time you were sort of 14, where were you in your cycling career at this point? Because you rode for a local club.
Yeah, I rode for Heanor Clarion.
Yeah.
So that was, probably from about the age of 7.
Yeah.
Did a lot of road, did a little bit of track, but Derby Velodrome wasn't open then, so I would just do cyclocross and road.
Yeah.
And then at the age of about 13, I joined the Great Britain cycling team from there, like really right at the bottom of their pathway.
Yeah.
So that would have been RSRs, as they were called, Regional Schools of Racing.
Yeah.
Their sort of sessions you just invited along to. And I was with Heanor Clarion then. And then when I was under 14, stepped up to Mick Ives Racing Academy.
But for you to be, just going back to that, the British cycling thing, you've got to be at a pretty good standard, I'm guessing, to be invited along to that. So you were showing potential at quite an early age then.
Yeah, I think that's just when Derby Arena opened.
Yeah.
So I was doing more track league, like youth track leagues, racing a bit with the national omniums, and you can do them when you're under 12. So that's sort of like a scouting area for the coaches of British cycling. And then I got invited along to the sessions, and then they obviously have different levels of the pathway. When you go through the age categories, it's NSRs, or at the time it was apprentice, and then it's junior academy, senior academy.
Yeah.
But that's like getting onto under 23 level.
So so you've already started to show potential then, and you've moved sort of through British cycling ranks. So I remember seeing you. I think it was the second year I did the hill climb in Ilkeston Boxing Day. You're in the green British kit. What was that? That
was Team Inspired. So that was pretty much the academy's trade team. So any non-international races, so you just normal races in the UK, or if it was a Kermesse in Belgium, we'd ride for Team Inspired.
Yeah.
So that was other than that, it would be the national team.
Right.
And that was the green kit that I wore at the Boxing Day Hill Climb.
So in the national kit then, what would you say your sort of greatest achievements had been riding? What were all the things that stand out in your...
For the national team, first I won 2 European titles on the track.
Yeah.
That was my first major event on the track. I'd always done the national championships, but when I was a junior, you get the chance to do the Europeans. At the time, British Cycling, or our coach, chose the Europeans over the Worlds because they never really lined up with the season. And the Worlds were always in China or somewhere really far away that cost a lot of money. So the Europeans were always close by. They were in Apeldoorn in the Netherlands, and we won the team pursuit, and I won the Madison with Josh Charlton. So that was like my first big success. Sort of that's
what age group was that?
That was junior. So I was in college, 16.
16, yeah.
I'd say 16.
So not many years ago then, really. Well, obviously none of your careers is that many years ago. Yeah.
A lot's happened though.
Yes, it has. So standing on the top step of that podium then, what's going through your mind there? Can you remember that? Is it a standout memory?
It's first we won the team pursuit, so that's the first day of a competition. It's like a 6 day long 6 day long event. Obviously, being part of British cycling, they focus a lot on team pursuit. That's their sort of speciality. That's where the medals, let's say on the track, that's where the medals come from. But that event specifically, you have to put a lot of time into.
Yeah.
Whereas, say the Madison on the Omnium, it's more general fitness and But team pursuit's very technical, so we spent a lot of time sort of perfecting our strategy and lap splits and everything to go along with that. It was also the same year as Tokyo, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been 2020.
Yeah.
So just as COVID was sort of coming to an end.
So this was towards the end of 2020 then?
This would be, it was in July, August.
Oh, July,
so
okay.
I think July, we did a lot of sessions with like Laura Kenny and Katie Archibald.
Yeah.
Because they were going for the Madison.
So that was sort of like a special things, riding with these Olympic champions already. It's quite a surreal feeling. Also, like Matt Walls had won the Omnium, and we were always in Manchester, so being around that environment where you see the Olympic team training, and
because you were living in Manchester at the time.
Not at that time.
Oh, you weren't.
I was still at college, still living at home. We just have sort of weekend camps, so we go up on Friday and come back Monday.
Yeah.
But that was probably like the feeling on the podium. We put a lot of work into it to go to the event, and everything sort of go really perfect almost. And we were also the first team to go sub 4 minutes.
Really? Okay.
We were the first British team to go sub 4 minutes. And at the event as well, you sing the national anthem, and it feels really special.
You've got a real sense of pride in that. But were you still a tall lad then?
Yeah.
Obviously, what are you now? 6'3",
6'5".
6'5". Okay, so I've done you down.
Probably
a bit
down
there,
to 6'4".
Yeah, so
grown much since.
No, but you're already standing tall. But you must, you just feel like that sense of pride in your chest, and you just look at the national anthem's playing, and it's for you.
I think singing the national anthem, it's quite like before at nationals you sort of go on a podium and they make a big thing out of it. You get presented your medal and jersey on a pillow, like you pick it up and put it on, you sit down with the people you've raced against, and it's really like a ceremony, it's pretty much like the Olympics for us at our age. So to feel to have that jersey hung up, like I remember, I think I won the Madison a few days later, and actually after that I hung my 2 jerseys up on some sort of like mantelpiece, and just to look at them felt quite special, because
of course it would.
It's sort of used to seeing national jerseys, but now you've got another different one. It's really like
it's the European.
You sort of feel proud of the team as well, because we had a nice group of lads, a really good coach, Stuart Blunt helped a lot of really good riders, and just everybody was just happy to be there. It was a really good week, and
so this is then sort of now leading up to a couple of years later when you get the chance with the Lotto, and it was at the development or the under-23s
at the time when I joined, it became the development team, so they just turned continental status, whereas the years before they were classed as a club team, so they were Lotto under-23, I think.
Okay.
But that was obviously a good step for me when I joined, because it gives them more continental races, which is sort of the amateur scene over in Belgium and France. It's really, they're like the next stepping stone to the pro ranks after.
So, and again, going back to talking to your dad this morning at the track, he was saying that you were pretty much the only Brit in that team. You were the only you were the only English speaking person in there. So
that was a new scene.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did that feel? So, what age were you then? So
this was
about 19.
This was my second year under 23. So I'd gone through the junior academy. That's obviously my junior years, and then I'd gone to under 23. I'd moved to Manchester. I'd obviously left college. So the age people go off to uni, which is
18.
I'd moved to Manchester. I joined the senior academy at the time, which is the next step up in the British cycling programme. Spent a year in Manchester. We did a lot of track, but also they provided a road programme. So we had best of both worlds. Always riding for Team Inspired or the national team. And then going into my second year under 23, at the end of the first year, they basically said to us that they can't provide the road, a quality road programme. So we're going to leave you free to look for your own road teams, which is a good thing in the end, because you get a lot more races on the road that actually helps the track. So we'd still do track races, but ride for a trade team on the road. So that's where Lotto came in. That's where I could. That's when I joined Lotto Development.
So you were sort of 18 years old then.
I think I would have been 19.
19. So you've gone into that. You're still a teenager. Have you moved abroad? So were you based abroad, or were you still based here in Ilkeston?
Still, first year under 23, I was living full time in Manchester, because that was sort of the principal. And then second year, I was travelling a lot, so we still had the Manchester house, which was provided by BC. And then I was also at home quite a lot. So I was sort of also in Belgium a lot.
Yeah, so you were flitting around.
Yeah.
So you didn't have like a permanent base, or you had your home here in Ilkeston, you're training up in Manchester, and then you've got over in Belgium with Lotto.
I'd say for the start of the year, the winter I was mainly in Manchester, and as soon as the races started, I was a bit in Manchester, and then when like the track races sort of slowed down a bit, so sort of end of August, or like August, July, August, September, October, I was more at home, because that was sort of the transition from leaving the programme, moving back home.
So how did it feel being in that Lotto team then, as the only English speaking rider in there? Does that make it harder for you to sort of stamp your authority on, look, I'm Josh Giddings, this is what I can do, and not speaking the language?
Yeah, it was a new thing for me. I was always quite a shy person when I was younger. Obviously I'd come from British cycling, so it was all English speaking, and come from a really world class setup. Obviously going to Lotto was like, oh my god, a world class pro cycling team, but then to be the only British rider was a bit not sort of intimidating. Just a new challenge almost. I was never really I was quite a easy person. I was never wanting to go in, and I just wanted to set a good example. I just wanted to show them who I was, and they sort of took me on okay, we'll take you, and then I wanted to just prove myself really in a good way, show what I was capable of.
What in that first year then? So what would you say the main races that you did that year? Because you've done like all the various versions of Paris-Roubaix, haven't you? From was that probably the first year you did Paris-Roubaix, or
no?
You've already done that previous.
I did mini Paris-Roubaix, which is for, I think it goes from people who are 6 years old up to, I did it as an under 14, so I would have been 13.
Oh right, okay, sorry, I didn't realise it. You were that young when you first.
That's
you've got a history with that race.
Yeah, mini Paris-Roubaix, so it's probably only about 25k race, but
it's
Roubaix. You do the last few sectors, so that's when I started, and then I'd done also junior Paris-Roubaix when it was in October. So that was COVID year. I rode for Fensham-House then. That was a guest ride, and then I'd also done it first with Lotto. That Lotto Destiny. That was 2023. So that was my first year with the team.
So you've obviously in that in the development team, you've obviously impressed them. Because you've now gone on to, and in 2025, you were given your first proper pro contract. What do you think do you think there are any standout races in the development squad that made the Lotto management, the direct sportives, look at you and go, he's one for the future? Or do you think it was an overall thing of your whole time, but then there was a standout couple of performances?
To be honest, I don't think there was ever there probably was. I did Olympia's Tour, which is a continental or an amateur race in Holland. And there was a time trial, and I was third. So that was my first big result as an under 23. So that probably showed them the performance side. But I think races in general, I was always quite, whatever they tell me to do, I do. I was quite an easygoing person. I was really a teammate over a race winner. So I think that helped me a lot to get into Roubaix, because Roubaix was in May. My first race for the team was February, so I'd done probably quite a few races then, proved my ability, but I also wasn't I wasn't always getting results, which is what you'd sort of expect to be put into a Paris-Roubaix team. But I think I wouldn't say I got lucky, but I showed a little bit of everything.
The thing is that you say you got, people talk about luck, don't they? But you might have a little bit of luck in being seen by the right person, but then you still have it's not luck that then takes you further than that. That's your dedication, your hard work, which is obviously what you've put into your time in the development squad, and then they've taken that and they've got, right, let's give him a chance in the full squad. So Lotto Destiny, as it was last year, wasn't one of the top World Pro Tour teams, was it? Is it the one below?
So when am
I at the right level there?
Yes, So when I joined in 2023, obviously still part of the development team.
Yes.
I did 2 years in the development team.
So that was Lotto Destiny, and that was the first year they became a pro team. So then it's a 3-year cycle.
Yeah, okay.
So actually when I'm going into this year, they're now a World Tour team.
Yes.
So the last 3 years I've done 2 years development team, 1 year pro.
Yeah.
So last year it was still a pro team.
So last year then we'll let's come on to the meat of this. There's what I'd love to talk to you about. Your first season, you're coming into the pro team. You're on the big stage now. First race, unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about it. You crashed and broke your collarbone. I mean, that to be up here to right, I've started in my first race to I'm on the. Did you know as soon as you'd hit the floor what you'd done? Did you realise straight away? And it was like, oh shit.
I'd done my collarbone before, so it's a horrible thing to do, but it's not as painful as it's when you crash, you can win yourself, like you can really be like sort of panicky, but after a minute or two you can get up with a broken collarbone. You can sort of, I probably broke it in the best way possible because it only broke one way, so I had quite a lot of movement, so I got up quite quickly and was like, you think, oh my god, what's just happened, but you're just happy you're alright. And I mean, is
it quite a quick realisation to that's this race?
It's sort of, I always, you always check yourself over, and I just know straight away that it's broken. But you just, it's not like I'm not worrying about it. Like I've done it before. I know what like. You can think of so many things at once and panic. But I just, first thing I think, I'm all right. Okay.
So you've got the mental power to go, right, hang on, stop, don't panic. Right, let's assess what is actually wrong. Okay, it's collarbone. Now, I remember seeing you, a friend of mine posted a picture on her Instagram stories at Sancini's Coffee Bar, which we talked about, and you were out on your bike, and I messaged her, I was like, he only broke his collarbone a few weeks ago, I was genuinely shocked at how quick you were back on your bike, so that was... there wasn't that many weeks, was it?
No, so I'd broken my collarbone probably, I want to say an exact date of February the 3rd. This was a Saturday? Okay. No, a Sunday. It would have been Sunday. So the race was on a Sunday. I broke my collarbone. In terms of like timeline, we'll talk. Monday morning I flew from Marseille at the time, which was the race, and I flew straight to Belgium. The team, one of the people from the team picked me up straight to hospital. Monday night I was laying in a bed in hospital. Obviously all right, like I could fly by myself, I had a sleep. It's, you can still live, you don't need to go immediately to the hospital. And then Tuesday I think I had my operation, Wednesday I was home. So in the space of 4 days I was fixed. And then actually, so that would have been a Wednesday. The next Monday I was already on the turbo.
So that's...
Obviously riding a bit like, I think actually initially I'd done my collarbone, my first time I did my collarbone I was really limited, I was really in a lot of pain, but this time I didn't need much.
So you were quite unlucky in the fact that you were lucky that you'd still got some more movement.
It was things like reaching up to the cabinet, you'd be a bit like yourself up, but I obviously wanted to get on my bike as soon as possible, but sensibly. And actually, on that Monday, it's quite annoying riding like that. It actually hurts more than just being a bit.
But you could do it.
But I could do it, and I just did, like 20 minutes or something. But that was the start, and then I think maybe after 2.5 weeks, I did my first ride, and I went out 2 hours. Went to Sancini's as well, obviously.
Sancini's is a point of reference on quite a few of my videos. I love that place.
I don't think there's another coffee shop that could beat the.
Well, get yourself down to Newquay and get to Salted. So from breaking your collarbone at the beginning of February in your first race, how long was it before you were back fully training and then actually racing again?
So I think that first ride outside would have been, let's say, 2 weeks after. Actually, maybe only a week after I started riding inside. I think I did a week on the week off. Let's say 5 days. Completely nothing. Just let my body sort of heal, and then I started riding for
probably another week inside on the turbo, which I don't particularly like. And then I would have started riding outside.
Yeah.
And then, so that would have been probably close to the end of February. I think the 3rd of March I went back for a checkup, and then the 5th or the 6th I flew to Calpe. So I sort of said to myself, I'm going to go to Calpe for 12 days, just to sort of get a bit of sun, like get a bit, happier, and just sort of get back in, put your head down, get focused again. So that was probably 4 weeks after I was really fully training.
Yeah, that's a quick.
It's a quick turnaround.
It's a quick turnaround, really, definitely. It's a lot quicker than, because I've not broken collarbone. I mean, lucky I had a bad crash at Darley Moor, which I think if I'd had time to think and take my hands off the handlebar, I probably would have broke my collarbone. But I just ended up with a concussion. So
and I mean, it's best to not put, when you crash. It's hard to do, but just.
Because the natural reaction is to...
That's how you do it. You put your hand down.
And that pops your collarbone. But so you were back, training, and then how was it with the team? What do they look at you? So how do they manage you for training, and then the expectation for what your next race will be and what they expect you can do in that next race?
Yeah, I think the team were they were better than I could ask for. They really put no pressure on me. I've got a really good relationship with my coach, and he's really take your time. No rush to be back. Even people higher up in the team who decide calendars and stuff, they put no pressure. If anything, I have more people messaging me, how am I doing? I went on a lot of walks, like when I couldn't ride the bike, just because I wanted to be outside. But the pressure's sort of non-existent. It's more the pressure I put on myself, which actually was not a lot, because when I did crash, it sounds strange because you think, oh, my season's over, but for me, I'd put in so much work in the winter, and I'd gone into the training camp and then that first race and had such a good period, and I was actually probably at the best shape I've ever been in. Marseille wasn't a race that suited me, but it was probably one of my best races. I crashed maybe 10k to go, so but to that point,
you were flying.
I was flying.
You felt good. You were like,
really
this
good.
is.
So when I crashed, I was like, okay, I'm all right. But I was obviously disappointed. But once you get home and fixed, I'm sort of like, I know I can be at that level. So I was motivated to get back. And you're not going to lose much because it's such a quick turnaround. A week off, not even 5 days off the bike, and then slowly getting back up. Obviously, once your bone's healed and you can do a sprint outside. And the risk factor gets less, and with time you can train more, and then it comes to racing. I just wanted to get back to that level and put in the work, and going to Calpe obviously helped that. You get some hours in, and I was also alone and could just really focus. And then going on to my first race was sooner than expected. I was supposed to start at the end of March, but I ended up starting in
Sorry.
No, I don't know if you want me to say that.
No, you can. That's what I was going to say was, before you went back in, so you were expecting the race that you were expecting to go back at. Are you then, you're talking with your coach, and I'm guessing with the medical side of the team and the director sportives, of you're giving them information as to what you think. So they're not saying, right, we need you ready for here. Are they more asking you, right, where are you? Where do you feel fit? Do you think you'll be fit for this race, or this race? Is that how it it works?
I tic-tac a lot with my coach, so I'm always messaging I'd say every day, it's how's the session gone? He'd always ask, how's the session gone? I say, it's good. Had a bit of a niggle here, and I didn't feel super comfortable. And obviously he's setting the training, so he can see from my data that gets uploaded to Training Peaks, he can see, okay, Josh is he's probably not far off where he was before, but he's still not there yet. And then he'd ask me, okay, verbal feedback, how did I find it? Oh, it was a bit too hard, but I got through it. Okay, he probably still needs a couple of weeks to get back to it. And I think I keep going back to it, but going to Calpe helped. I can do quality training, quality efforts, not really be interrupted.
Was that somewhere you just took off your own back to go?
It was my own training camp. It was just
So it's not like the team say, right, we'd like you to go here, and we'd like you to do this, and this.
Everything was off my own back. Like I said, okay, I think this is a good starting point for the race, because also you got to counter in from operation day till race start. Like you want about 6 weeks. That's normally the time. Obviously, you can train before that. You can train after 2 weeks or a week. But it's all about the risk. It's like if you crash again and it's 4 weeks after, there's a higher risk than after 6 weeks because the bone's not as healed. But it can be done like Jonas Abrahamsen crashed a week or two before the tour, but then he ended up going to the tour.
Yeah.
So it's a really quick turnaround, but it's all about the risk.
Yeah.
All about crashing again. But I think I raced 5 weeks after I'd had operation.
What was the race that you went back into?
Milan-San Remo. So,
I didn't actually know. That wasn't a question that I was leading into, knowing that I didn't actually read it. So it's a bit of a baptism of fire then, wasn't it? From that. Really so okay, so you've come into Milan-San Remo. What's your role in the team then? So you've just come back after an injury. What's the expectation from the team on what the team wants to achieve in that race, and what was your sort of role within that?
So it actually wasn't on my calendar to do. I was supposed to start in Braden at Coxade, I think, which was maybe a week and a half after. Which is, I know it's a smaller classic, but it can be a race where you just go and see how you are.
Yeah.
Whereas San Remo, I had the message like, do you want to ride? I want you to do the job of leading into the Cipressa, I think the first climb is.
Okay.
And I was obviously I didn't say no. But I think I didn't anticipate like going back into a peloton. It was obviously it's the longest race I've ever done. It's like 290k or something. With a neutral, it's like 302 or something. Yeah. So it's over 6 hours of racing. I've never done anything like that before, and obviously the job that I had at hand was quite difficult to do, I think, for my first race back. But you never know, you might get a jump on a bike, you might be absolutely brilliant. But I think.
Did you have a bit of apprehension then going into? Were you?
I think I had a bit, because with San Remo, it's the first half of the race is really chill, nothing happens.
Okay.
Before you get, there's a climb that you go up. So obviously you're in the middle of Italy somewhere, and you go up a climb, drop down, and it goes from like rain, sunshine, and you drop down to the coast. Yeah. And then it starts slowly getting more chaotic, and the more it got chaotic, the more I was just at the back. I couldn't. Just was just too fragile. So
right, was that you were thinking?
I was thinking too much.
Yes.
And actually, it took a lot of time to get that feeling back. I did races afterwards. But going back to San Remo, in the end I finished it, my first monument, which was, I think at the end it was an achievement in myself. Like, I was disappointed I couldn't do anything for the team, but obviously I had a little conversation with like the sports director. I said I just couldn't, but they understand that. It's not like you're expected to go and do the world's best lead out into the Cipressa after a collarbone. Like, you might do, you might not.
But you went there, you were like, I want to do this, and you did it. Did you find, because what I found when I had my crash, it was quite a bad one. I didn't realise how bad it was until people told me how bad it had been. I just so whatever. I got over the physical side of things really quickly. My head took ages to get over to be happy on a bike in a peloton again. Yeah. Did you find, was that something that you found as well?
For me, like, I could go out and train, that's fine. Yeah. Obviously your physical shape can come and go, and it can go up and down throughout the whole season.
The psychological and the mental side of things after a crash. So, like I say, I really struggled after mine, and I almost gave up racing. I just I can't do this. How long did you find that it was? Were you expecting that, or was it something that sort of hit you, and you didn't really know that it was going to hit you, like the psychological side of things?
Yeah, I think I'd always thought like it was going to be harder than it was before, but I didn't realise how hard it would be. So actually the races I did after Milan-San Remo were quite big races to do to sort of get back into racing. So it sort of took a bit of time, but actually probably after 2 races I was in a better place. Yeah. Like, I was more comfortable. Mentally it's just
Were you a bit of nervousness? A little bit of nervousness at all about being again at close proximity, or
just the risk? I think it never got to me mentally, but it was just a feeling that you just can't do it. Like, not that I'm telling myself I can't do it, but I just can't be in. I'm just too like, if someone cuts in front of me, and then
I know exactly how.
And then you're like, I'm at the back now. If I try and get to the front, you waste your legs. By the time you're at the front, you absolutely
you cooked,
and you come straight to the back again.
Did you talk to anyone in the team about this, or do you have help with people trying to just chat? Just say, look, I'm just head's not quite right. I'm not sure what's happening.
The first chat with the sports director after Milan-San Remo was like, okay, somebody like the people in charge understand. That sort of settled with me enough to just. It's going to take time. And obviously I told my coach as well, and they say I've had races before where I've crashed and got back up, like done a race the week after, and it's been quite hard to get into it. But it can be after one race or two races, you get back into it again, really.
So you've done Milan San Remo then, and what were you say that there were quite big races after that you're going to do another monument or something?
I did Brugge de Panne, which is a World Tour race, so it's the Sprinters Classic. Okay, so it's quite a dangerous race. So I was better physically and obviously like in the bunch. But I just couldn't compete when it got like the last 10k when it gets cagey. Like I was sort of there in the right place, but as soon as I started losing position, that was it. After that, I did Ghent-Wevelgem, which is another big race. That was probably the first race where I was like, right, I'm comfortable now, because there's one section for the Kemmelberg laps, like basically where the race kicks off. There's one section of road that's always crosswind, and everybody wants to be in front. And I was in the front group. I didn't have the legs, so I got dropped, but I was there. And if maybe 2 months later, if the race happened again and the same situation, then I would have probably got to the finish in that, or I would have stayed in the front group and maybe been able to do something. And then after that, I did Dwarsdorf-Vlaanderen, which is the race before Tour of Flanders. So I want to say it's like a mini Tour of Flanders. Actually, E3 is mini Tour of Flanders, but it's similar. Quite a short race. So in there, I was in like the breakaway. Like it didn't last very long, but I went away. That was my job. So I went in the break. Just didn't have the legs to stay there because it was quite a hard race. And then I got the late call up to Tour of Flanders. So I did that. That was like.
I mean, you did some big races, didn't you? Let's be honest,
I mean, in that block.
Were you expecting to do at the start of the season? So I'm going to change the subject slightly a little bit, and we'll come back to this. At the start of the season, do they have an idea as a team? Do they have an idea of who's going to ride which races? Or they do. So they've kind of got the year marked out for you. So how many of these races were you marked out to do that you actually eventually did?
So from that period, I was supposed to do, I think, Brugge de Panne, so that's the first race I did. I was supposed to do Braden and Coxader, but they took me out of that one because obviously I'd got more races planned after now. Wevelgem, I was going to do, the three big races I was going to do in that period were Brugge de Panne, Ghent-Wevelgem and Roubaix. But I ended up doing Milan-San Remo, Brugge de Panne, Ghent-Wevelgem, Dwarsdorf-Vlaanderen, Tour of Flanders, Schelde Prijs also was on the list. That's the race before Roubaix, and Roubaix.
So
and then another one after. And that was my block done.
Was it almost, this is going to sound a bit daft saying it, was it almost like the accident was a good, it's never a good thing, I get that. But do you think it kind of, if you hadn't had the accident, you wouldn't have done all those big races, or do you think you might have done them anyway? Is it
the thing? Is like the races I missed a big stage race. I missed UAE Tour. I missed. I think Kuurne, Brussels, Kuurne. I was supposed to do. So maybe I wouldn't have been put in for those races. Because
you'd have done.
They take into account like maybe a rider doesn't get sick, or maybe I've done too much. And they wanted me to have a bit of a break. So I was probably like. Not lucky, but I had that time off in February that I came in. I was just super fresh. I'd only done one race.
Yeah, and you've come back fresh at the
And
right
other
time.
guys
for it,
have done opening weekend and they've kept racing and racing.
Yeah.
So some people got a bit sick, and that just opened the door for me to do 3 monuments in the space of 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. I think Milan-San Remo was 22nd of March.
Yeah.
And Roubaix was 13th of April.
Yeah.
So in the space of 20 days,
You've done
I've done 3 monuments in
Yeah.
the first year. So that was like.
That's a good thing to tick off, isn't it? Like things I've done, things I want to do in my cycling career. You banged a few of those off in year one, and that's after the worst possible start to a season, like breaking your collarbone. So, what does how the best way to put this? So when you're cycling, it's a team sport, but it's also an individual sport.
Yeah.
It's not like football where you all train together, you coach, so you all train at the same place. Now, obviously you have training camps that you go to. How many training camps a year do you go to with the Lotto team?
So last year we had 2.
Yeah.
Or that I went to, we had 2. Obviously there's different altitude camps.
Yeah.
Training camps, but at altitude for different races. So for the Tour they go to an altitude camp, for the Giro they go to an altitude camp, Vuelta likewise. So we had a training camp for everyone in January. That's like the normal.
That's your given.
And then I also went to Livigno in July, which is an opportunity. The team gives the riders opportunity. The riders who don't go to the Tour, you can go to altitude because there's no races in July. You've just done nationals. The next race is end of July, Tour of Poland or Tour of Denmark or something. So there's a whole month to do nothing. So it was perfect time to get some altitude in. This year, we've done a training camp in December.
Yeah.
And then we're about to do a training camp in January.
Yeah, you go away next week, don't you, for that?
Yeah, next Sunday. And then start racing. But then probably an altitude camp in the middle of the year, whether that's with the team or on my own bike.
Okay.
Probably most likely with the team.
So how does the rest of your training... How do the training sessions look like then for you? Because you've obviously got a coach at the team.
Yeah.
So is it? I'm going to guess then it's kind of like I have you and Mackie coach as me, and it's all done on Training Peaks.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the same thing, and you're sort of left to your own devices to make sure you do those training sessions? And how many sessions a week are you given? Yeah. And can you do more outside of that if you want to do more?
Yeah, so the general gist of it is, well, we use Training Peaks. My coach will set my training. Normally do 3-day blocks, so 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on. And we'll like sort of use that as a rolling thing. So it might be like, okay, I'll have 2 rest days in 1 week, but 1 week it might be only 1 rest day because of the 3 days on, 1 day off. I normally trust my coach in that, like, say I've got 4 hours on the cards, but my mates are doing 6.
Yeah.
I might ask, okay, can I do 6 to maybe do less another day? Or if he says, no, it works well doing 4.
Yeah, that's what you say.
But normally, most of the time, he's quite flexible. It's not like a totally strict training plan. All the efforts I do aren't that complex, like I see sometimes it's like, okay, you got to do 120% of FTP and then this number. And in my mind, it's too much. I just do 4 minutes at this power or this heart rate, and then that's enough. So actually, it's quite basic. Well, in terms compared to maybe other coaches, it's quite simple but effective.
It's effective.
I think it's how it's put in the week and how the blocks are, how hard the blocks are. And it's also how you do the training. If you do the training too hard, the next day you're going to be tired.
You can't do your session. So is it kind of up to you where you could, if you wanted to, you could go, right, do you know what, I fancy a week in an Airbnb in Calpe, I'm going over to Calpe, and you'd go over there and you do your training there, and you're kind of sort of left to your own devices a little bit, are you, as to where you do your training?
Yeah, as long as I've got my bike.
Yeah,
I can do it wherever I want.
Yeah.
There's no
do you
limit.
do that much, or do you stay based here in Ilkeston most of the time?
Not really. I try to stay at home. Obviously, like travelling, you need to keep track of how many days you're away. But when I can, I'd like to go. But I also like training at home. I like I like the balance of, I use training camps to really get my head down. Like the one in January is perfect time to get your head down. Before the first race, you want to do everything right. But maybe in the middle of the year when you go to Livigno or if you have somewhere else in Andorra or wherever it is, you know, sort of getting to the end of the season and you can sort of take a step back almost. You probably get the same quality of training, but you just you're not as serious about it.
Right.
Yeah, like it sounds like a big extreme.
So when your dog's going crazy in the kitchen there. So when you're at home and you're training, do you have like do you have a favourite route that you do for your training, or do you mix it up quite a bit around here?
Yeah, I try to mix it up. In terms of direction, I like to go into the peaks.
Yeah.
As far up in the peaks as I can get. Like I like to ride around Hathersage, a bit up towards Mamtor.
Yeah.
I did a nice loop on Christmas Eve actually with my friend Jack. We did Mamtor, like up that, following the A6 really, like up on the tops, Beeley way, and then up to Mamtor, drop down into Whaley Bridge, back up Long Hill, Buxton. It's really nice. Yeah. You know, you go to Matlock, get to Matlock, have a Bird's Bakery, and then ride home, and that was 6 hours, 6 hours 15 or something, so that was mega really. But the Peak District for me is like, I can do everything. I think that's why I like training at home. I've got friends here that I can ride with, and there's everything. If I want to go flat, I go towards Mount Mowbray or that sort of way.
It's perfect. I think we're located in a very good position here, aren't we, in Ilkeston? Because if you want a hilly route, we just go west and just go into Derbyshire, and you've got all the hills. If you want to go flat, you just head out east, Nottingham.
Yeah.
And it's
I never really do, like, I never need 20-minute climbs. My efforts don't, like, if I had to do 20 minutes at LT1, then I just do it, pick a road like the A6, just go up and down, okay, sorted. Yeah. There are some climbs where you can add a bit of the road on and then go up a climb. Yeah. Most of my intense efforts are shorter, so there's enough around here. Yeah. You can sort of make some loops, and pretty much everything's here. As long as I'm motivated and want to train, then I can do everything that's asked. Yeah. Or that's on my training peaks.
This is something that I know I've known other people who train, and when they're kind of left to their own devices, you can sort of procrastinate a little bit, and you look at the weather and you're like, oh, I don't want to, and you hang on. Are you pretty good at going, oh, that weather looks awful, but I've got this 4-hour session to do, I'm going outside? Because you said earlier you hate the turbo trainer.
Yeah, so I'm normally quite good at going out in the rain.
Yeah.
I don't mind the cold. I don't like to go out initially, but I'll get it done. Yeah. Some days you just have to like knock it on the head if it's not sensible. Yeah.
It's like days like today where it's freezing. Yeah. But he says it feels like -7.
It's like I went out yesterday and it was probably 0 for probably the whole ride. We did 4 hours, and I have a mate to go out with, so that gets you out the door. Yes. And at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing, is getting out the door.
Well, they say it's that first mile, isn't it? Yeah. Once you got that first mile out.
Once I got to the meeting point, it flew by. Maybe the first hour or two is a bit like, oh, I'm only here. Yeah. But before you know it, you're 2 hours in. Yeah. It's 2 hours back.
And then you're on the downside, aren't you? Yeah. Back. Yeah.
So I just see it as like, as long as I'm motivated, and obviously being sensible as well. If it's really, really cold, you wouldn't go out because you don't want to get ill, and it depends what time of year it is.
It's icy as well. You don't want to crash.
Well, it's all about the risk, the danger. Like if it's been Christmas, maybe you're on the verge of getting a bit ill, and there's a race or something. You've got to sort of think about it and be sensible. But like I said, like my coach is really flexible. Yeah. And if I have, at the end of the day, if I have to go on a turbo, I have to do it.
Yeah. So how does it come if you're starting to feel a little bit ill then? How often do you talk to your coach, like on WhatsApp or phone calls or whatever? And does your coach sort of tweak your plan? If you say to him, look, not feeling great this week, I woke up, I've got a bit of a cough. Your coach then goes, right, okay, let's look at what we're going to do. Let's lower the intensity a little bit.
Yeah, it works like that pretty much. I can just send him a message on WhatsApp and just say, like, not feeling the best today. And then he'll say, okay, do less, don't do any efforts, or do a block less of efforts, or it depends how severe it is. And maybe do something different the next days. If the weather's really bad, I think he can see the weather where I am.
So where is your coach based then?
He's in Belgium.
He's in Belgium, okay.
But I think with Training Peaks you can see the weather.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. It's like, it's quite flexible. If I'm not feeling good, it's he's not going to make me push myself, and I'm also not going to be stupid.
Yeah.
I think it's all about...
It's that trust, isn't it, between you and your coach? And
I think as well, like in yourself, cycling is like a big mental sport. I think you have to be happy, you have to do things that make you happy, and I think at the end of the day, if you don't want to go out, try and go out.
Yeah.
But if you an hour or two in and you're like, no, I'm not doing this, I'd just come home, because if
you're not getting anything out of it.
It might affect the next 2 or 3 days of training, so I'd rather just knock it on the head and then you feel more motivated for tomorrow.
And I think it's good that you have a coach as well that understands all that. You know, I've had my times. I know this is about you, this interview, but I've had my times last year when there was things going off in my head in life. Yeah, I work a full-time job as well, and I train. I'm 54. Yeah, I'm trying to recapture teenage glories that I never actually had. But yeah, I've had times when I've spoke to you and I've said, look, I'm really struggling here at the moment, and he's okay, no worries. He says your training has to be around you feeling good. And he said, if you don't feel good, let's change it around. So there's no point slogging yourself for nothing.
At the end of the day, you're the one doing the training, so only you know how you feel. Nobody can tell you how you feel because they don't know. They're not they're not in your body. And so
you need to be able to have that trust and that relationship with your coach that you can openly say, look, this week I'm really struggling. I can't do this, and this. So and your coach is then he's got that trust in you to know that if you're saying that is genuinely true. It's not you just going, I can't be arsed this week.
There's always a solution. Like today with the freezing weather, like I probably could go out and do a couple of hours, but I can go on the track as well. So track's a bit different, not done it in a week or two. I'd rather go and do that. Like, it's a bit unstructured because you just do whatever they say, but at the end of the day, as soon as you get on the track, it's a workout. Like, it's never easy, so...
It looked a good session that day. It looked fun. It almost got me wanting to do track racing.
But like I said to you before, like, you got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. It starts at 7, but you're done by 9, and you've done an hour and a half intense. It's probably equates to 3 hours of riding with some blocks of efforts.
I mean, things like on a Saturday when I go out with my mates, I like to be out the door by 7 o'clock on the bike. So I'm back. If we do a 4-hour ride with a coffee break, you're still back by midday.
I've started to get into like going out earlier because I know it's my job to ride my bike every day, but it feels like I've got no time in the day when you get back because obviously you're tired, you're recovering, you sit on the sofa, time goes by. Before you know it's tea time, it's dark, especially now when it gets dark early. So going out at like 9 or 8:30, I'm back. If I've got 4 or 5 hours, I'm back at 2 o'clock. So you still get a couple of hours of daylight. Maybe you want to go out somewhere, go on a walk, I don't know. But you feel like there's more time in the day to do stuff, and there's not really a tax of feeling worse. You just get into the routine of waking up early, and I think that's what I'm trying to do now.
Okay. Well, we've sort of gone on to how you train, but I'd like to go back a little bit now. Paris-Roubaix. It's this was your first proper you've done. I say proper, you've done the other one, the other versions of it. The first Paris-Roubaix you've done,
the longest one,
and you finished 52nd,
54th.
54
it's something,
but it's a decent place to finish. It's and so when you're out there, you've done the other Paris-Roubaix, so you've got a little bit of an idea of what this race is about. Obviously, you've seen it on the telly, you've seen your heroes and that doing it. What's that like for you on that start line? How are you feeling inside on that start line?
A bit nervous actually. I normally don't really get nervous anymore because obviously like pro races are quite long, 200k average now, so it's 5 hours. A lot couldn't happen in 5 hours. If you have a bad first hour, you might be good in the second hour. So when I was younger, obviously I'm more nervous because the race is only 30-40 minutes. And one decision can ruin the race, whereas in a road race of 200k, you can make a lot of bad decisions, a lot of mistakes, but sort of
you can get them back.
I was nervous. I think Paris-Roubaix, the elite edition, so the pro race, I want to say 90k of normal roads, so it's really relaxed. It's a basic pro race. The breakaway goes. It took a long time for the break to go, but my job, actually I don't think I had a job, it was just see how long you can survive, because that's what you have to do in Route Bay. I didn't have the job to go in the break. If I wanted to, I could have probably tried, but I was just sort of, okay, I just want to finish. Really.
If you'd done that, you know,
it
compromises your actual finishing the race, and you would rather have finished it.
Maybe I would have blown my doors off and then not made it in the break, and I'd be absolutely cooked for when the racing actually kicked off. Because, you know, it's 90k of just normal roads, so you can do nothing for 90k, and probably 130 guys are doing nothing, so I'd rather be one of them. And then going into the first sector, I was like pretty nervous. It gets so chaotic, and at one point I was trying to fight, sort of be in the right place, but I just thought, okay, well, I am where I am. There was a few crashes, like really French roads, there's road furniture everywhere, roads going left, right through towns, like crash on the left, crash on the right. I thought, okay, I'm just going to stay where I am and just relax. And going to the first section, it's like mental. You come in, I was probably in quite a nice place, and like people are puncturing, people are crashing. It's just 50 riders leave the bunch, and then
just like that.
I think the first few sections come really fast, so that's when the real race starts, and there's punctures. And before you know it, actually, at one point in the race, I got to a point where I was like, oh, there's only 30 guys in front of me, whereas before there was maybe 100. So then going into like the Arenberg Forest, that's like the big sector. It's it's horrendous cobbles. I actually was riding slower than, I wasn't going full gas, because you can't. You're just trying not to have any problems. Actually, in the end of the race, I had no punctures or anything. But going back to the result, I was 54th or something. You actually don't know where you are. I come into the velodrome just wanting to finish. I don't care where I finish. I know that, okay, like I've come off the last sector, I'm happy, and then I can get to the finish line. If I have a problem now, I'll just ride it back. And then you come in, obviously my parents were there, like a little fan club, and they don't know where I am, and then all of a sudden I'm in this velodrome, and they're like, you know, cheering, I'm happy to be finished, and then you see the result after, I'm like, oh, 54th. And then I think back to like maybe one section where I got dropped from a group, and I don't know, there's 20 guys in that group, I'm like, oh, that could have been for 30th, or you think back and you like reminisce, I think, oh, but in the end it was a super good experience. I was really happy to ride it, and it's such a special race. I can see why it's called the Hell of the North.
So we've gone and we've talked about what you've done in 2025. Briefly before we end this, what are your plans for 2026? What are the races? Can you talk about what races you got?
I can say my first few races. It changes all the time. But what I've been told, I'm going to start in Mallorca, Challenge Mallorca. So that'll be good fun. There's a team time trial there, which will be normally that's the most fun race to do. It's hard, but it's good laugh. And then I go to Classic Almeria, I think, and then Tour of Algarve. Right. And then Paris-Nice in March.
So that's the start. That's your first sort of block of racing then.
I think the race, I've got a few more races after, but I can't really remember what they are. But in terms of like what are my goals, just sort of carrying on from what I did last year. I hope to step up and just be that little bit stronger in the last 5k when I need to be used. Just hope to have a bit more legs, really. Potentially have my own chance, own success.
Okay. And very quickly, what difference does Intermarché coming into the team? What's the change from last year to this year then with Intermarché?
To be honest, I don't feel like there's much, because I think there were two very similar teams coming into one. So actually, I don't. For me, there's nothing much has changed. New staff, new riders, but that happens every year in the team. So I'm, I think it's a good thing for the team. Because, obviously it's a difficult period to be in cycling at the moment, but actually being a part of the team is nice. I think there's good things on both sides. So hopefully it'll make a bit of, like, obviously now we're World Tour, it's easier with another team, and
so World Tour. I mean, are you sort of, come on, let's get one of the three big ones.
That's one of my things I asked to do as a Grand Tour this year. Well, I'm not sure which one, whether I'll do one, but I think that's like the next step for me to.
I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and hopefully you get one of those. I mean, and let's be honest. I mean, you finished off 2025. This isn't very serious, but you finished off 2025 with the biggest win of your career. You know,
my only win this year.
Yeah, but
my first pro win.
Well, that's it. But you won the Ilkeston Cycle Club Boxing Day hill climb on the infamous Bath Street here in Ilkeston, Derbyshire. What was it like to take the win? Because there's all these pros, and you're the only pro who's brave enough to come and do it. Poggy, Van Aert, Remco, they don't come and do it, but you do. I mean, okay, it is your hometown, but but wait, is it how nice is it to be able to? You are on a team like Lotto. You are now in a World Tour team, but you still come back and you over Christmas you come and do your local cycle club hill climb.
Yeah, for me, it's like I feel like my training. It's a good test. It's like a minute or a bit less than a minute now.
55 seconds. 55 seconds.
I mean, ideally it's a minute so I can get a new minute power. But,
is this why you don't put it up on Strava, because it's not quite a minute?
Yeah,
I didn't see it on Strava.
I don't know if
I looked a couple of, and your record isn't 55 seconds.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the annoying thing, because on Training Peaks it gives you a minute, but my minute's lower because of. But anyway, it's nice to see some familiar faces. Yeah. Help out a good event, great event. Like, actually, it's really nice. It gets you up on Boxing Day. Yeah. For me, it's a good effort to do, to sort of see how my fitness is, and I just like doing it.
It is a fun event, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like going to the track. I don't. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I like being at home. I like sort of don't forget where I come from, because that's what I used to do when I was younger. Yeah. So
Boxing Day, you support your local cycle.
Yeah, exactly.
Do the hill climb, and it gets again, like I said at the track, it gets some of these youngsters who look and they're like, oh my god. He races for Lotto. It's a pro rider. He's cycling up the same hill that they're cycling on.
That's what I used to be like when I was younger. I'd always look up to the pros that were local. So it's nice to sort of give a bit back to them.
You are now that pro, aren't you? For those young kids to look up to. Well, on that note, we'll end it here, because obviously the batteries are getting very low. I've been through 4 batteries already on this. But we've been talking for just over an hour. So thank you very much for your time, Josh. I've really enjoyed doing this. Maybe we can do this again sometime, maybe halfway through the season, or towards the end of the season. We'll have another little chat and we'll see how you've been going. All right. Thank you very much. Brilliant. Great talking to you.
Thanks.
Coffee was fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers.